Hello and welcome to another AIC Productions video. Today I'm going to be doing a quick update on my Ethereum mining rig. When I first set it up, I did have 3 graphics cards, one of which was bad, and I returned that. So I've been running with just 2 cards. Now the reason why I've stuck with just 2 cards is I've been able to get it to be very stable and reliable, and I haven't had to think about it. With 3 cards, there was a lot of extra workarounds I had to do to get it working with 3 cards, and just wasn't worth it, to be honest. It probably would have been if I had been able to get it stable out of the box. I don't know what the problem is. I don't think it's a power issue. I don't think it's a motherboard issue. It may have just been the one bad card, but I haven't wanted to mess around with it since getting it stable and running great. So I've had so far 2 payouts. One was on July 31st. The next one was on September 4th. I am getting pretty close. I'm within, it says 7 days here approximately, probably closer to 5 days before I get my next payout. I did go ahead and sell what Ethereum I had. I had not sold it previously. Prices had dropped significantly and were coming back up. I sold this morning at 343, I want to say. Yeah, 343. It's at 328 right now. So I sold it when it was a little bit on the high side, so I'm glad I sold it when I did. It'll take me a couple days to actually get that cash in US dollars. My average hash rate is about 28 megahash a second with the 2 cards. I've had people telling me that they're getting as many as 15 megahash per second out of each card. I'm sure that's doable. However, I have been fighting both stability and heat issues. I do run this system in my home office, and if I push it too hard, my office becomes unbearable to be in. I'm also in Arizona, and the heat has been an issue. We're finally cooling off now that it's the middle of October. We're still hitting high 90s, but starting this week, it's starting to hit the mid 80s. So it's expensive to cool a house in Arizona in the summer, and adding that additional heat has not been welcomed. I have been at night when it's cool and in the 50s, just opening up the doors and windows to allow a cross breeze so that the heat goes outside, but during the day when it's still in the 90s, that's not an option. I have small kids, and they're home during the day and can't have the heat. Anyways, so like I said, I'm getting about 28.1-ish megahash per second. Here are my overclocking stats. For card 1, we have the GPU underclocked by 20 megahertz. I have the power limit limited or underrated by 15%, and I have the temperature limited to 72 degrees max. Like I said, I was having some heat issues where it's getting up over 75 degrees, and I know these cards can take it, but again, I have to deal with that heat in this room and in my house. And I have my memory overclocked to by 1550 megahertz. So I do have a pretty hefty overclock on the memory. The settings for both, I believe, are the same. Yep, they're the same for both. So they are both running stably. Card 2 is the card that also drives my display. For whatever reason, it gets put in as card 2. And so it tends to run a little bit warmer, as well as not having as high of mega hash. So if I'm doing anything, it will drop first in mega hash if I'm doing anything on the screen. So far I've been running for 144 hours and 14 minutes since my last restart of the system. That was due to having to do Windows updates. That was my last restart. I have had 0 issues in the last few months. I shouldn't say few months. The last month or so since I've narrowed in on this overclock. I did have it the memory overclocked a little bit higher, but it was crashing every couple of days. and then I'd be down for a few hours until I could get it up and running again, because usually it crashed in the middle of the night while I was sleeping or while I was on my way to work and I didn't have a way to remote in until lunchtime. And so having it stable was more important to me than getting an extra mega hash, because I feel like I'm getting more shares because it's just on and working versus losing out on that time. So I'm getting just over 14 mega hash per card. I have a coworker who has a GTX 1060, and he's only getting 16 or 17 mega hash per card. And he only has the one card, so he's only getting that 16-17 mega hash. So I'm not far behind a 1060 with a mild overclock of the memory, and his is overclocked as well. He's not running stock on there, so it is comparable in that respect. I've had a lot of questions about how much I make per day with these two cards. It's really hard to say. I'm earning 0.2 mega hash currently every, let's say, 2 months, and 0.2 mega hash. Let me grab a calculator. So 0.2 times, it was, let's just say 330, round numbers. So I'm making about $33 a month with the two cards at current rates of both mega hash and difficulty as well as value. It's not a lot, but again, it's just, I did this mostly just to have the experience and not be making money. I have a coworker that mines Bitcoin, and he makes over $10,000 a month at current Bitcoin prices, which is more than he makes at our daily job. Of course, he has, $25,000, $30,000 invested into his mining, and I only have a couple $100 invested into my mining. So, it definitely is. The more you can invest, the more you can earn. These cards are definitely not ideal miners. Again, as I mentioned in my very first video, I did not set out to build a mining machine. I was building a desktop because I wanted a desktop, and I figured as long as I was doing it, I'd also throw in a second card to mine with. So anyways, so this is just, like I said, a small update since I've been getting a lot of the same questions. Would I recommend doing this if you're actually trying to make money off of it? No. I mean, the system hasn't even paid for itself yet, and it's been, I started in June. So June, July to August, September to October. So in 4 months, I am getting about 130 after fees and everything, about $131, and that pays for one card. When I get my next payout, I'll probably hold off until my goal is to sell it at $350 or above if I can. This time I was just under $350 per ether, and so I'll have paid for 1.5 cards in 6 months almost, or 5 months. So is that worth it? I don't know. It really depends on what your end goal is, I guess. This to me was more of an experiment than it was a serious attempt. One of my other coworkers, the one who actually pushed me to get into this, he has 4 systems, each running with 4 cards, and he's mining a few different things, but he's making $150, $200 a day. But again, he has many thousands of dollars invested. So if you can invest, you can definitely make some serious money, but your return on investment, it looks like I'm getting per card return on investment is 3 months. Well, it's 2 payouts. So it's every 4 months. So it's taken me 8 months to pay for my graphics cards. Now again, that would be shorter if I went with a higher end graphic card, or if I was willing to push the boundaries a little bit and get a little bit more daring with those overclocks and could get them to be a little bit more stable, figure out what my limiting factor is and push them a little bit harder. But so far I'm happy. I mean, again, for an experiment, I'm happy with my results. I'm doing pretty good. I paid off, I've paid for one card. Not if I don't minus out my cost of electricity, which I haven't configured yet, because I think that'd just make my wife mad if I came up with that number and she found out. But you know, it's been interesting. It's something to keep your eye on the market. Bitcoin right now is over, I think this morning it was over 5,600. I don't know what it's at right now. Yeah, it's 56.61, which is just crazy. Crazy amounts of money. If I invested, in January of this year, it was $950. If you invested $100 back, or if you invested $1,000 back in January of just this year, it would be worth almost $6,000. And again, it's October. It's been 10 months that time has come by. So would I invest all of my money in cryptocurrency? Absolutely not. But it definitely is something that if you're looking to do something on the side to earn a little extra money, if you're looking to do something on if you're looking to do something on the side, if you're looking to play around, maybe diversify your investments, maybe have some money burn a hole in the pocket, what I would probably recommend at this point is I would not build a mining rig personally. The price on video cards is through the roof. Anything decent. Hardware, spec-wise, I mean, it's hard to justify spending the cost on a physical machine just to mine the heat in your house, the electricity, things like that. I would go with something like Genesis Mining. I actually have a coupon code for Genesis Mining. It will be in the description of the video. But what you do is you buy hash power. Let's go to pricing for Bitcoin. This is Ethereum. Let's go to Bitcoin. So you, for $30, now it's out of stock, so you can't buy this. But it comes available periodically. But you buy the gigahash, and then you just, it's kind of like leasing space, I guess, on their servers, and then you get your payout. And this is what my coworkers are doing. This is what they have theirs invested in, and they do get their payouts. They get their money. They make a lot of money. And so yeah, if I were to do it again, and if I were to be serious about it, I'd look into one of these type of plans or programs, because it just is a lot easier, a lot more convenient. So my total investment on my system is about $800. That's the CPU, the memory, the storage, the video cards, everything. So for that same $800, so let's see here. Use a slider. So if we go, so yeah, you can get for $750, you get 25 mega hash a second. I'm getting 28 mega hash, so pretty close. If you're to bump this up a little more, let's see. Come on. So go up to 30 mega hash. That's $869. This is 2 years of Ethereum mining. You're not having to pay for heat. You're not having to pay for electricity. And so you're just, what you earn is what you earn. And, that's a significantly better deal than what I've done for my system. At least to me, it makes more sense. So, something to consider. So if you're interested at all, like I said, I have a coupon code down below. I think it saves you like 1% or 3%, something like that. Any questions or comments or thoughts about cryptocurrency? My mining system, my rig, if you want to bash on it like a lot of people seem to want to do, feel free to comment. But right now I've recorded this video. I'm in the same room as my machine, and the air conditioning blowing in my house is significantly louder than the machine itself. I'll go ahead and move my camera here, if you'll allow me. And it's just sitting there, working away, doing its thing. Sorry for the rat's nest of cables. I've been rearranging some things and need to fix those. I haven't had a chance to. But yeah, it's quiet. It's doing its thing. It's making me money while it just sits there. And that's exactly what I wanted it to do. I can sit in here and work when I'm working from home. I can sit in here and write scripts or record videos, and it's sitting there mining away. And that's exactly what I wanted out of it. My one coworker that has the 4 rigs, he can't be on that side of his house. He tried to put it in the garage, but it was so loud the neighbor complained about the noise it was making. So, it's just, there's pros and cons. And again, if I were to get serious about it, I'd look into one of these type of programs where you are buying mega hash power straight up from another group and making your money that way. I know with a lot of them, when you buy the Bitcoin, once you buy the hash power, you own it, and they just take a very small maintenance fee from each payout. So anyways, again, any questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to comment down below. When I'm making these videos, I hate to beg, borrow, plead, but I do have some affiliate links on my website, aicvideos.com/support. Turn off your ad block if you're running it. I don't want to do a Patreon. I don't want to ask for you to give me money directly, but if you use one of my affiliate links, if you're buying something from Amazon, eBay, Newegg, Discount Tire, Tire Rack, Euro Parts, I have some other ones on there. If you're buying something from one of those sites anyways, use my affiliate link. I get a very small percentage of that, but it helps me to continue to create more content for you to watch. Anyways, again, thanks for watching. Hope you have an amazing day.